The I-94 rivalry heats up on a Saturday night in Milwaukee, Miller Park, where the Brewers are trying to get one back as the Cubs won game one on Friday night. Chris Narveson toes the rubber for the Brew Crew, 2-0 in his career against the Cubs, looking for victory number 1 on the season. And he goes up against Cub newcomer Matt Garza, but no newcomer to the majors. An outstanding pitcher and a big acquisition during the offseason for Chicago. Hi, everybody. Davey Nelson and Craig Kashan back with you here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. I'll tell you, on paper, an outstanding pitching matchup. Chris Narveson for the Brew Crew. We start with him. I don't know if he could have pitched any better on Monday in the home opener, going 6 strong innings of shutout baseball.
Well,
baby.
The only way he could have pitched better if they could have won that ball game, but he was outstanding. He was right from the get-go. He was pitching ahead in the count, using his changeup, using his curveball, and was able to spot his fastball. Only gave up 3 hits and just pitched well. Now, Matt Garza, let me tell you, this guy, I've seen him plenty of times. Power pitcher, good breaking ball, slider, but he comes right at you, pitches to contact, but he'll come challenge you with that fastball. Well, he gave up 12 hits in his last outing, but he struck out 12.
This guy threw a no-no, too. Don't forget that. Hey, Prince is having a big turnaround compared to other starts in the month of April. Big slugger heating up just in time for the Cubs' BA and Rock to break down his slugging.
It is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Yes, sir, there is visual proof that spring will come to Wisconsin. The sun has been out a little bit today as we are set for baseball. And Prince Fielder, you knew his home runs would come as well. Last night, his first home run of the season, and it was his 100th home run here at Miller Park. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder back at Miller Park, Milwaukee. And Prince continues to be the leader of this offense. He is the big weapon, the big threat, along with Ryan Braun. And it's good to see Prince getting it going again now.
Yeah, and he's been swinging the bat, well, since the beginning of spring training. And one thing you know about Prince, he's not going to give away at bats. So far this year, even in Cincinnati, where he didn't get any base hits, he had some very good at-bats, hitting the ball hard. Unfortunately, hit it into that shift. But Prince Fielder right now is starting to dial in and he's been very good against left-handed pitching.
Well, you see what he's done on this homestand, especially in the last 3 great games. All of his RBIs have come on this current homestand, and it's no rhyme that the Brewers are winning on this homestand. They're trying to get back to winning ways tonight as they go for the series win tomorrow, but it takes a win against a very good pitcher tonight in Matt Garza. Narveson on the bump for the Brew Crew. We've got the lineups and the first pitch coming up next. Greater than an enemy, a rival, born from repetition and bound from content. Games that are seasons unto themselves. From 2 managers tasting for the first time to 2 teams striving to share one border. These are games described by one meaning: everything. An annual grudge, a brutal ritual, a furious reunion. 16 games that last 365 days. Where there's more than a game, there's legacy, there's misery, and there's history. And there is Chris Narveson leading the Brewers out on the field tonight in front of a sellout crowd at Miller Park as the rivalry is renewed. Ron Renicky, Mike Quaddy, the 2 managers experiencing this I-94 rivalry as managers for the first time. See what the Cubs have done this year. 3-3 on their first homestand. They won the opener of this series last night. And it was Jeff Baker who had a 4-hit game, and he leads off for the Cubs. Narveson deals him strike 1. Chris Narveson, he pitched very well in his first start. Did not pick up the win, but 6 shutout innings against Atlanta. Allowed just 3 hits.
And that was an important pitch for Narveson, that changeup. He was locating it very well from the first inning on. Will be a very important pitch once again tonight for him.
Now the Brewers looking for their first win against a division opponent here tonight. As Narveson strikes out, Jeff Baker makes quick work of the Cubs leadoff hitter.
Well, 3 strikes on 3 pitches and 3 different pitches. Fastball, changeup, and a curveball to put him away. Keep that curveball down in that location. It'll be a good night for him.
Here's Starlin Castro for the Cubs. Brewers come in at 3-5 on the season. Cincinnati lost last night in Arizona. And the Brewers trying to pick up win number 1 as Castro sends one out to Nyjer Morgan, who gets the call in center field for the Brewers. Let's give you the Cubs starting lineup, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. It's Jeff Baker, Starlin Castro, and Marlon Byrd. Then Aramis Ramirez, Giovanni Soto, and Carlos Pena. Bottom 3, Alfonso Soriano, Reed Johnson, and Matt Garza. And the Brewers defense, courtesy of Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Braun, Morgan, and Kotze in the outfield tonight, with McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder. In the infield, Nieves catches Chris Narveson once again. And here is Marlon Byrd. Big part of the Cubs win last night. Byrd had 2 hits. Had a couple of doubles last night. Drove in a run in the 9th inning that extended the lead to 7-4. The Brewers had a chance. They brought the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning last night, but Carlos Marmol retired Kotze, Weeks, and Gomez in order with 2 on to end the game.
Yeah, beautiful pitch by Chris Narveson, down in the count 2-0 through the changeup, and Byrd way out in front. That changeup's been a good pitch for him in his first couple of starts.
There's Dan Isonia, the home plate umpire. The crew chief is Dale Scott. He's over at first with Jerry Meals and C.B. Buckner also on the bases. Cubs are beginning a long road trip. Milwaukee, Houston, and Colorado. And they'll ask if he went. No, they won't. Says it's a ball all the way. 3-2 on Marlon Byrd, who is Chicago's best hitter. And a guy you have to be very aware of as you go through a ball game.
He's had a relative success against Narveson, 3 for 6. There aren't a whole lot of batters in this lineup with a lot of experience against Narveson. Giovanni Soto has the most at bats, along with Ramirez, 8. That's not many.
Another 3-2 offering from Narveson into right field. That is going to fall. A base hit. Kotze on the run. And Byrd on his way to second with a double. This guy uses the entire ballpark. Sprayed one down the right field line. And a 2-out double. How about our scouting report tonight? It is on Chris Narveson, and it comes from his battery mate, Will Nieves.
To get ahead. You know, last time we were doing that, and he kept the ball down, and he was throwing all his pitches anytime. So I think that's key for him, that when he can throw his changeup and his breaking ball in fastball counts, especially against this team. So I think that's what he got to do, just attack the strike zone, just keep the ball down, and just use all his pitches at any time.
And just avoid the obvious fastball like the 2-0 changeup that he threw to Marlon Byrd for the swing and a miss. That's what he has to do.
Aramis Ramirez for the Cubs, chased one. You know, you look at Chris Narveson, and he could be, we'll see how the season plays out, but he could be the sleeper in the starting rotation. Everybody wants to talk about the top 4, and certainly the top 3 are headline grabbers with Gallardo and Greinke and Sean Markham. But Narveson just quietly going about his business. I thought he handled himself very well during the home opener, which brings a lot of pomp and circumstance, and Narveson went 6 shutout against Atlanta.
Well, particularly for a finesse pitcher with the curveball and the changeup. I mean, when you're all amped up like that on a home opener, he was able to relax himself pretty well and did a nice job.
Well, he goes, does Ramirez, but it skips away from Nieves. And he will reach. So the Cubs are going to have runners at the corners as Nieves could not keep that one in front. It'll be a strikeout. And a wild pitch that puts him at first base.
Yep, off-speed pitch down in the dirt. That's a curveball, and Will Nieves will be the first to tell you he's got to block that pitch. That's where you want to throw it with 2 strikes. Got a piece of it, but a little bit too far. Ramirez able to get to first base.
Some early trouble for Chris Narveson, who has 2 strikeouts in this first inning. And he will face Giovanni Soto. See how the Brewers defend Soto. 3 infielders on the left side. Soto hit a long home run to center field last night. What strikes you right away watching Nigel Morgan in center field, especially with Soto at the plate, who has power, how shallow Morgan plays Soto.
Yeah, it tells you right away that he's comfortable going back on the baseball. Gets a very good jump and not afraid to turn his back on the baseball and then pick it up again.
You've been around a long time, Rock. You ever seen as many shifts, defensive shifts, especially on right-handed batters that the Brewers are showing this year?
No, I mean, you know, the shift has been a popular thing around all of baseball, but the Brewers have one on every hitter. There's no such thing as straight away with this defense from Milwaukee.
There's a good play by Nieves. Keeps the runners on the base pads.
Yeah, it's all about, you know, Ron Renicky, you know, demanding the coaches to really get into the spray charts and the scouting reports. Rely heavily on Chris Bosio, the advanced scout, who was checking out the Cubs in their last series at Wrigley Field.
Well, Soto was in a hitter's count at 2-1, and Narveson threw him a changeup.
That's a big pitch for him, and it got plenty of the plate, but it was the speed that fooled Soto.
Early trouble for Narveson. Trying to wiggle out of this first inning hook. First and third, 2 gone. And they'll ask if he went. No, he didn't, says the crew chief. And it goes to 3-2.
Well, Narveson must have good stuff. There's been a lot of check swings so far here in the first inning. And it looked as though Soto was able to hold up.
Soto coming back from shoulder surgery in the offseason. Hit his first home run of the year last night. Has driven in 3. And he doesn't chase. So the bases are loaded for the Cubs in the top of the first.
Now the defense, a problem for the Brewers last night. Gave up, what was it, 4 unearned runs? And Narveson really should be out of this inning because of the strikeout to Ramirez that wasn't blocked by Will Nieves. So these are all extra pitches, extra at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Now we heard Ron Renicky comment last night. It goes both ways. The defense has to be there for you, but they won't be every time, and it's up to the pitcher to pick up the defenders. Narveson has a chance to make it a moot point. Carlos Pena, dangerous bat, big power hitter at the plate for the Cubs. And a strike. Marlon Byrd with a 2-out double, a little flare down the right field line. Ramirez struck out but reached on a wild pitch, and Soto walked. Pena hit 6th last night as well. Seems to be the spot of the lineup that Mike Quade likes, the power hitting Pena. He singled his last time up. He struck out twice.
In a run producing spot in the lineup, but down a little bit because he strikes out so much. Randy Wolf very effective against Pena last night with the big curveball.
Another changeup from Narveson. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And not afraid to throw it against a left-handed batter. A lot of left-handed pitchers don't like to do that against lefties. But Pena way out in front of that one.
So again, Narveson to 2 strikes on a hitter. You can tell this crowd is revved up here tonight. The 1-2 and a fastball just missed. Already a 25-pitch inning for Narveson. Another nice play by Nieves, but now nowhere to go. 3-2 count, bases loaded. All the runners will get a head start.
And back-to-back pitches, cut fastballs by Narveson. That one a good block by Nieves. Well, they want to talk about it. You know, in these situations where Narveson needs a strike, he's been throwing a changeup. Peña's already swung through a couple of changeup. Let's see what they do.
Strikes him out. He pulled the string again. And the Cubs strand the bases loaded in the first inning. Narveson picks up 3 strikeouts in the first. Avoiding a little trouble in the first inning as Narveson strands the bases loaded. And here is Ron Renick's Piggly Wiggly Brewers batting order for tonight. Got Ricky Weeks leading off, then Nyjer Morgan, Ryan Braun to follow. The middle of the order for Renick is Fielder, McGee, and Betancourt, with Katse, Nieves, and Narveson rounding it out.
Well, Matt Garza was pretty good against the Pirates in his first start with the Chicago Cubs. Spent his entire career in the American League. Twins and Tampa Bay. Threw a no-hitter last year against the Tigers. He's got some good stuff. 12 strikeouts, no walks in 7 innings.
Has plenty of hardware. He was the ALCS MVP back in 08. Big run for the Tampa Bay Rays to the World Series. Here's how the Cubs line up defensively with Soriano, Bird, and Reed Johnson in right field. The infield is Ramirez, Castro, Baker, and Peña. Same as last night. And then Soto catches Matt Garza. 27-year-old Californian. His first career start against the Milwaukee Brewers. There are a few Brewers who have seen him. Those that were in the American League, guys like Yuniesky Betancourt and Mark Katse. So this is brand new for everyone. As a matter of fact, the best book that the Brewers have is sitting in that dugout with Ron Renick and his time with the Angels, of course, and of course Rick Kranitz, who was with Baltimore, pitching coach with the Orioles in the American League East last year. Kranitz knows him as well as anyone, and certainly Renick has seen plenty of Garza in the past.
Yeah, so there shouldn't be any surprises in that Brewers dugout.
It's one thing to have seen it from the dugout. It's another to have seen it from the batter's box.
Right.
And there's not much experience facing this right-hander tonight. A shot right off the shin of Garza into right field, a base hit. Well, Weeks has really been hitting the ball hard. Finally finds a hole, even if he has to knock it off the pitcher's shin bone.
Yeah, right on it. 3 fastballs to start the game for Garza. Now he gets it up there anywhere between 92 and 96. Ricky bangs it right back through the middle. You see Baker shaded up the middle just enough. He might have been able to get there had that ball not gone off of Garza's leg.
A glancing blow off the lower leg. That won't do much damage. Might leave a mark. And now we'll see if Nyjer Morgan is going to try to advance Weeks with a bunt. Morgan is a good bunter, squares immediately, and he takes a strike. Morgan's already dropped down a couple of sacrifice bunts, but even when he's bunting to advance a runner, there's always that threat with his speed that he's bunting for a hit.
Yep, they're going to take that away at least at third base. Ramos Ramirez is about 4 feet in on the grass at third.
There's a bunt. Garza's only play is first. Baker is right there. Close play as Morgan advances Ricky Weeks.
Well, you love the game of Nyjer Morgan giving himself up. Again, you don't know if that was called from the bench or if Morgan is trying to drop the bunt down to give the Brewers an early lead, and Morgan hustling all the way nearly beat it. Jeff Baker had to get that glove out of the way.
Put so much pressure on the defense. And now Weeks in scoring position courtesy of Nyjer Morgan's bunt for the big boys as Braun and Fielder will take their swings against Matt Garza. Braun with 3 home runs already. He's driven in 5. He's hitting at a .346 batting average, which is 9 for 26 at the plate to start the season. That one is hit hard. That'll find a gap. To the wall it goes. Weeks will score easily. Braun chugging around second, and he'll stop there with a double. 1-0 Milwaukee as Braun drives in his 6th.
And fastball right down the middle, straight as a string. There's not a whole lot of movement on the Garza fastball. I don't care how hard you're throwing it. You're in a fastball count. You throw a ball there to Ryan Braun. It's going to find a gap somewhere, even in seats. Brewers don't mind the fastball when they know it's coming. And Braun knew that was coming.
Well, you knew he squared it up by the sound and the shape of that ball as it kind of had a hook on it out into the gap in left center field. Now it's Fielder with Braun at second. And the Cubs counter with the shift of their own. 3 infielders on the right side. That's been frustrating Prince Fielder. Not the fact that the shift is there, but he's hit some shots right into that shift.
And he's also hit some ground balls right to shortstop that have ended up being base hits. Check out Ryan Braun. Look at the point of contact. Able to get that bat. You can't even see the bat. That's how fast that bat's going through the strike zone. Hits it out in front. And you can see that belt buckle on the left facing Garza. That's just perfect technique by Ryan Braun.
What a swing, right?
Can't even see the bat on the freeze frame. When they freeze it, they stop it.
Fielder goes down the line. That's to the wall. Ryan Braun will score. Prince on his way to second. Back-to-back RBI doubles. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Oh, that was a slider to Garza. Tried to get down and in on Prince, and he left it up. Prince doing a great job pulling the hands in and keeping that ball fair. A lot of hitters are going to hook that ball foul, but Prince has the ability to pull those hands in and hit a frozen rope right down the line. And that's what he does on that slider. A lot of hard stuff out of the hand of Matt Garza here in the first inning.
Weeks a single, Morgan a sac bunt, back-to-back doubles. 2-0 Crew, and here's Casey McGee. And you'll have to be patient with us here with the the haze that you see. They send off the fireworks at the beginning of the games, and when the roof is closed, the cloud just kind of hovers around our center field camera. So there's the haze line. We're almost over. Just don't panic. Don't adjust your set or wipe off your glasses. As McGee fouls it away.
I don't remember that being an issue in years past.
It's all about the wind currents. Now, when they open the panels up, it's got something to do with the barometric pressure and the dew point. You know, Rock, it's all a bunch of weather stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly it's artificial fireworks that are in our way. Little jam shot, and Baker's got it for the out. So that's the second out of the inning.
You know, I missed weather day here at Miller Park.
You would have learned all about it.
I have no idea what a dew point is.
Well, it could start raining at any moment inside Miller Park. They're ready. Actually, a nice night out. Not quite warm enough to open up the roof, but temperatures in the mid-50s today. Supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow.
Good to see the sun.
Now, we talked about some of the Brewers who have had success against Garza and who have seen him. Betancourt is one of them. One of the few. Betancourt is 5 for 15 lifetime against this right-hander Garza.
That's a pretty good slider right there. That pitch going straight down as it got to Betancourt.
And he did not chase. Able to check his swing. Ball and 2 strikes on the Brewers shortstop. Yuniesky Betancourt, who is using Zach Greinke's bat, which makes perfect sense.
Well, Zach doesn't need it quite yet. Won't be long.
We'll have an update on Greinke and the other injured Brewers a little bit later in our broadcast. Matter of fact, Greinke's feeling so good, we can tell you, just because I happened to be in the clubhouse when he walked through. He wanted to hit today. And you should have seen all the alarms that went off.
Right.
No way. No, sir. Don't even think about it.
Roger Cappinger was not happy about hearing that.
He goes, I'm good. I can swing it. Apparently he can hit, but we'll have to wait and see when he's healthy. But it is a good sign that he feels good enough to want to swing the bat a little bit. Now, I've seen pitchers use position players' bats before, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a position player use a pitcher's bat.
Pitchers will use a BP bat of a position player.
Right.
Not the gamer.
Well, he's hanging tough.
Gamers in the hands of most pitchers end up being firewood.
And just so you know, most pitchers don't even get a bat with their name on it. I mean, that's kind of where they are on the totem pole. But when you win a Cy Young Award or a Silver Slugger Award like Giovanni Gallardo, then you get your name on your bat. The 2-2 fights it off. Good at bat here by Betancourt.
Yeah, the bats for the pitchers usually say Brewers or a Pro Stock.
Pro Stock. Well, I know Zach Greinke takes his hitting seriously. It was the first thing he mentioned during his press conference after the trade, the first time he was in Milwaukee. 2-2, and Betancourt looks at ball 3. He's worked it all the way full. Garza got him chasing a couple of sliders, but Betancourt has been able to fill the count. And he'll see at least 9 pitches this at bat. Fielder out at second. 2 runs are in. And Betancourt rolls over one to short. This is Castro. Inning over, but a good start for the Brew Crew. 3 hits, back-to-back doubles. by the two that are supposed to drive in runs, Braun and Fielder.
The Brewers a 2-0 lead, and the Brewers look like they're about to get their big arm, their big-time acquisition during this offseason. Zach Greinke back in the mix. He threw a bullpen session. He looked good. Ron Renicky said Zach asked him to stand in the batter's box, and he admitted he stood a little ways away from the plate, but it wasn't because Zach was wild. It was because of the fear, because he looked so good. But Zach Greinke, big-time bullpen session, and we'll see how close he is to coming back.
Oh, man, what a great catch by Nigel Morgan right there. Up against the wall. He was patient. He ran right to the spot. Some kind of play, and Nigel Morgan continues to impress here in the first couple of weeks of the season.
And he continues to make Doug Melvin look like a genius for the pickup right at the end of spring training. My goodness. Perfectly timed lead, but wouldn't have been out of the ballpark, but taking extra bases away from Soriano. You know, keep in mind how shallow Morgan plays for him to be able to get there that quickly in center field.
Here is Reed Johnson. One away here in the second inning. Yeah, Greinke was impressive. You could hear the pop of the glove all the way from the dugout as he was throwing his bullpen session today. Sometimes you don't even have to get words from those who saw it up close. Guys like Marcus Hanel, the bullpen catcher, even Ron Renicky, just raised their eyebrows and go,
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, Greinke's one of those guys who can break in a catcher's mitt in a couple of bullpen sessions.
That's right. That's what Marcus was saying today.
Yeah.
It was really impressive, throwing all of his stuff too. Got good news on Manny Parra as well. Manny Parra pitched today for Class A Wisconsin. He matched up against Kane County just up the road in Appleton, and Rocky went 2 perfect innings and struck out 4. Of the 22 pitches that he threw today in 2 innings, 16 of them were strikes.
Yeah.
So the power lefty Manny Parra, who's been out with a back injury, as Narveson strikes out Reed Johnson.
Well, there's been good news on the injury front for just about everybody but Corey Hart. Corey Hart still coming along rather slowly. Jonathan Lucroy is playing down in the minor leagues. Well, high fastball, and Reed Johnson just waves at it. Fooled badly by the fastball.
Yeah, Lucroy played last night, had a double for Huntsville. Actually drove in a couple of runs as well. So we might see Lucroy. He might be the first one of the bunch to return. Corey Hart still with the team, but Troy Hawkins is throwing in the minor leagues as well. Brevard County dealing with a shoulder problem. Lucroy had a broken pinky, and you figured Lucroy would be the first back with that
Well, he's in shape and ready to go defensively. Ron Renicky says it's just a matter of Jonathan getting enough at bats to feel comfortable to be able to face big league pitching.
The 0-2 to Garza. Got him. Narveson strikes him out. He has 5 Ks. Back-to-back strikeouts for Chris Narveson after a great catch from Morgan.
Well, still filing in here at Miller Park, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Get one field infield box ticket in Casey's Corner, plus a limited edition Casey McGee t-shirt for just $40. A portion of the proceeds benefits United Cerebral Palsy. Visit brewers.com/Casey.
Still filing in. Remember, Saturday starts are at 6 o'clock. And they're still coming in. Maybe they thought it was a 7 o'clock start tonight. Or just having too much
fun in the parking lot. It's beautiful outside. I don't blame them.
Yeah, it's a good point. Going to be a sellout tonight at Miller Park as Katse takes a strike from Garza. And you can already kind of feel the intensity of the crowd. Obviously, a number of Cubs fans are here, but it's always a great rivalry. Even when you go to Wrigley Field and the Brewers fans show up, they call it Miller Park South. Cubs fans call this Wrigley Field North. So it's a way they have a little fun with each other. Oh, nice play by Pena to the bag. Katse is out. Excellent play. A couple of former Tampa Bay Rays hook it up for the out on Katse.
Well, he's no Derek Lee, but that's a pretty good play over there at first base. Cubs have been very fortunate to have some pretty slick fielding first basemen in their history. Mark Grace, Derek Lee, now Carlos Pena showing what he can do with the leather. A nice flip over to Garza, who was right there to cover.
The American League Gold Glove Award winner back in '08, Carlos Pena. He's bounced around a little bit. He found a home in Tampa Bay. That's where he really established himself as a big league slugger. And now in Chicago, a one-year contract as Nieves fouls it away. Nieves out to a decent start with the bat this year. 3 for 11. Scored a run. Not really known for his offense. A defensive specialist behind the plate.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Brewers elect to do when Jonathan Lucroy comes back. We're just talking about the progress of Lucroy, and he's coming along. The Brewers anticipate somewhere around the middle of the next road trip. Going to Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C., and Philly. It's going to be a tough call. Who gets to stay, Kataris or Will Nieves?
Nieves, a right-handed batting, defensive-minded catcher. Kataris, the left-handed batting, known more as an offensive catcher. Although you have to say that Kataris has been pretty good behind the plate this year. At least, he didn't play much last year, so there weren't many opportunities for him. But he's done a nice job blocking balls.
And once Jonathan got called up, he was pretty much the everyday guy. And before that, it was Kataris's job right after that injury.
There's that slider from Garza, and he strikes out Will Nieves for the second out. So you can click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsWisconsin.com homepage and win an unbelievable prize in the new Fox Sports Wisconsin Fan Zone. From team merchandise and game tickets to unique fan experiences, tech toys, and more. And if you're not a member, join now. It's fast and free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab, FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Two to nothing Brewers. Back-to-back doubles in the first inning by Braun and Fielder. And Narveson up there with the bases clean. Narveson is 0 for 2 on the season at the plate. There's 2 at-bats coming against the Braves. Narveson is a career .283 hitter.
Had a pretty good hack at that curveball that Garza threw to him 0-2. You're doing a pitcher a favor when you do that. You hung a curve.
Somebody's got Bieber fever. The 0-2. Narveson swings and misses. Down he goes. Good block back there by Soto. And a 3-3 down inning. When we come back, we will visit with the Brewers general manager, Doug Melvin, in the booth when we continue from Miller Park. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. There they are. Always entertaining outside Miller Park this time of the night. And just wait for a couple of hours. Always entertaining in the booth when Doug Melvin joins us, Brewers general manager. Thanks for joining us here as we head to the third inning. And Rog just made mention about it, but I'd like to get your thoughts right away on Nigel Morgan, the acquisition, and what kind of impact he's made the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been pretty exciting. And, you know, coming out of spring training, your scouts are out watching all the games, and you get reports every day. And very seldom are you able to make a trade that can impact your ball club. It's usually a depth trade or someone in AAA. But we were able to pick up Mitre and Nigel Morgan. Our scouts did a great job in telling us that they felt they could help us. And I think both of them are going to help our ball club throughout the year.
Yeah, first 9 games, you have to be, relatively pleased with the pitching. I mean, the pitching's been pretty good. You take away a couple innings here and there, but starters have been good. The bullpen's been pretty good.
Yeah, besides the one stinker game in Cincinnati, our pitching has been really good. And I think a lot of close games, and I think that's another part. When you're playing in close games, your pitchers have to be on top of their game even more so. But it seems like every night's a close game. There's really none of these games that you get a chance to sit back, take a breather, and relax and watch the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way it's been around baseball. But we've been talking about some of the injuries and some of the guys that are well on their road to recovery. Give us an update on the guys that are down in the minor leagues.
Well, Manny Parr pitched in Appleton this afternoon, threw 22 pitches, 16 strikes, 6 balls, had 4 strikeouts. So he had a good outing today. We'll have him go to Nashville next week and get into a few games there at that level. LaTroy Hawkins was in Brevard last night in the Forest State League. And he threw pitches. He had a number of pitches that were 95 miles an hour, which was very encouraging as he's trying to get his arm strength back. And Jonathan LaCroix is getting very close. And he's playing with our AA club at Jacksonville, Florida. And he's coming along. He's probably the closest to being activated. And who am I missing? Corey Hart. Corey's here with the club. Will continue to work out. He's not as close as the other guys, but we're starting to get a little bit encouraged. And then Zach Greinke is. We're really pleased with Zach. Zach would like to go out there tonight and pitch, but we got to stop him from doing that. But he threw a bullpen today. I think you had it earlier on, was showing it.
Right.
Very excited. He walked by today and said he's ready to hit and that. So it's good to see. You can tell by the attitude of the player and how he's feeling and that as to where they're getting ready. And he's pretty charged up and can't wait to get until he gets out there on the mound.
He's like the hyena at the zoo right now. He's ready to get out and run, Zach Greinke. And of course, that is the prized off-season acquisition, and the club will take on a much different shape when he returns. I tell you, the one guy though that kind of sneaks under the radar, and we'll see what kind of year he has, is the man we're watching tonight, Chris Narveson.
Well, Chris did a good job last year. I don't think a lot of people understood how well he pitched in the second half of the year. And I've always liked Chris. He was found. Stan Kiles, our bullpen coach, was down in Mexico when Chris was pitching there a few years ago. And he's a bright individual. He's a hard worker. I don't know if you know, he got his degree on Phoenix Online, going through rehab and winter ball. So, he's someone that has a plan, and obviously he's showing that out on the field too and having some success.
Well, we got the top of the order coming up. Can you stay with us? We'll talk about some of the offense of the Brewers. Doug Melvin will continue when we come back.
MLB.com at-bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Brewers.com. Everybody's a Clemens fan, right, Doug?
Yeah, I am too.
Continuing our conversation with General Manager Doug Melvin and bringing him into our wheel of silliness here. Sorry about that. We get that way sometimes.
I might get in there if you keep it going.
So here's Ricky Weeks leading off, and good chance for us to talk to you about the Brewers offensively this year. And it's been a challenge offensively, I think, probably a fair way to put it, although there are signs of life, especially from the first inning. What are you seeing?
Yeah, you know, we've had our ups and downs. We got off to a good start in Cincinnati. Ricky's swinging the bat, but you know, we just have to have some consistency throughout the lineup, and it's a little bit tough at times. But you know, I think the thing that you have to look at is we faced some pretty good pitchers here to open the season. When you face the Braves pitchers, and then you face what we did in Cincinnati, and you're going out here on Zambrano and Garza. I don't think there is a weak pitcher out there that we've faced. So it's a good challenge for our guys. They got to come up with their A game against quality pitching early. There hasn't been any weak links, so it's a good challenge and for them. But you know, they're going to hit. We're going to end up scoring runs in that. But you know, just have to get a few more guys get on base. We maybe haven't been quite as patient at times, but maybe a little more aggressive too at other times, but we just haven't been able to had that big inning. You know, a lot of solo home runs. What are they? What
all but one.
All but one. 8 of 9, I think, are solo.
Right.
And that, so get a few guys on base and the big boys. You know, I'm a big fan of the 3-run homer. I think you guys know that. I always say that's my best friend in that. But you know, we're going to try to score runs other ways too, and we've done a good job of that. Nigel Morgan, you know, running the bases. Carlos, when he gets on base, he's aggressive. Ronnie can run. He's a plus runner. And that's some of our aggressiveness has helped us. That series against Atlanta, how many plays at the plate? I've never seen a series that had so many plays at home plate as that series.
Being very aggressive. I mean, Eddie Cedar's been told to be aggressive in sending runners. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, Ron Renicky said in spring training, I want these guys to be aggressive and not be afraid to make mistakes. And we've seen that so far.
Yeah, you're going to force the issue. You know, I think one of the weakest tools in the game today is outfielders throwing arms, and some guys may have arm strength, but they don't have the accuracy, and some people may have accuracy. Look at this guy again.
That's going to get down. It's going to go to the wall, and look at Morgan run on his way to third, and it's a stand-up triple. My goodness, what a start to the season for Nigel Morgan.
I don't know if I acquired Nigel Morgan or Tony Plush. I don't know which one.
That is
which one it was.
Alter ego, Tony Plush. He says he plays as Tony Plush.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could have thought that Nigel would have burst onto the scene and done what he has been doing. I mean, dropping down bunts and driving the baseball, flares to left. I mean, he's done everything you could possibly ask of him.
Yeah, he's got a short stroke, and he's a tough kid. He played hockey. You know, you got to be tough to play that game. And he played a lot of hockey. He's a big San Jose Sharks fan, he told me. But no, he's an aggressive player, and you can just see it. It reminds me a little bit of you'll remember this, Bill. I know Brian would. Mickey Rivers. A little bit of Mickey Rivers in his game, and Mickey was a good player.
Yeah, maybe Mickey Rivers, but a little bit more pop, wouldn't you say?
Who, Nigel?
Nigel with
Tony
a little
Plush,
bit more.
Yeah.
Tony Plush. Yeah. For those who aren't following here, Nigel Morgan actually, you know, it's gone on for a while. We've talked about it before when he was with the Pirates, but he gave himself this name. It's his alter ego that he played. When he plays, he's Tony Plush. He plays all out aggressive, and then when he's outside the lines, he's Nigel Morgan. He's nice and friendly, and he's the guy you can go talk to. Don't talk to Tony Plush.
Yeah.
You can talk to Nigel Morgan.
Yeah.
You get run over.
It's fun. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, it's good. I think today's game, I think it's good to have personalities. I think it really does. I think we missed that a little bit years back when Bill played. There's a lot of personalities in the game, and they have all baseball players had a lot of nicknames and that. And I think we missed a little bit of that in today's game. And people sometimes get a little sensitive to things, but it's good to see his personality and his energy. I think it'll wear off on the team, and it's obvious the fans are liking it too.
You got to be pleased with the start of Ryan and Prince. Both of those guys seem to be locked in.
they're both quality hitters. They both prepare as well as anybody, and I expect big years from both of them. They're that kind of talent. Jerry Nairn was raving about Ryan the other day to me. He hadn't seen him. Jerry's been out of the game a couple of years, hadn't seen him, and was raving about the kind of player Ryan Braun is.
Now, Braun said he wanted to walk more this year, a little more strike zone discipline. He's shown that this season, but already with 6 runs batted in, he and Fielder both have driven in 6 through the first 9 games of the season. This being the 9th game. Braun and Fielder with RBIs earlier, and that one's in the dirt. He didn't chase, and that gives Fielder a chance with runners at first and third, just 1 man out.
Might have been pitching around him a little bit. I don't know because their infield was playing back.
And maybe setting up a double play, but it's hard to believe that they would pitch around Ryan to get to Prince.
You'd think so, just a double play opportunity, but you're right.
First and third, and Fielder at the plate. He hit his 100th career home run at Miller Park yesterday. He didn't know it, and certainly not a guy who hawks the stats very often, but he's the franchise leader, and it speaks to how good he's been in a Brewers uniform as you start comparing him to some of the big names in the game.
Still a young guy. He came up as a young player and has had phenomenal breakout years. How old was he when he hit his 50 homers? Was it 23 or something like that?
The youngest in the history of the game to hit 50.
It's interesting how he adjusts. Teams were playing him to pull, and he shortened his stroke and went to left field here the last few games.
He's been very good against left-handed pitching. But yeah, Prince is 26, and this is his 6th full year in the big leagues. I mean, it's incredible the way Prince has been able to stay on the field every single day. And when he was drafted, that was the concern, that whether he was going to be able to stay healthy enough to be out on the field every day. But he has certainly done that and more.
Yeah, he'll play every inning of every game if you let him.
Fights one off, Fielder. And we talk about Prince a lot, and you were the first to bring it up. But Fielder's a good hitter, too. He's not just a power hitter. He's a guy that uses the opposite field, and you don't see him go into these long droughts at the plate because of it. And how about the numbers so far this year against lefties? And we're talking about some pretty good left-handers.
I think the thing last year, he took a lot of walks, and very tough sometimes when you continually pitch around you, and he was disciplined enough to take those walks.
Down the line, another extra base hit. Tony Plush scores. Here comes Braun, and he'll score without a throw. Eddie Cedar had the windmill going at third base, and Braun so fast, never slowed down, and Fielder ends up driving in a pair.
And 0-2 pitch.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know.
And 0-2 pitch, he fought off an 0-2 pitch, he fouled it off, and then Garza went upstairs again. Prince able to tomahawk it right down that left field line. Talk about a power hitter, a home run hitter that's been able to use left field so well so far this year. And you talked about all the walks. It's one of the reasons why Prince wasn't able to drive in 100 runs last year. All the walks, and walks with men in scoring position last year.
Yeah, I think there was only 3 players in baseball that walked 100 times last year. Pujols, Prince, and I forget the third one, but there was only, I think, 3 or 4. And that just shows you the team player he is. He wasn't going to go up there and get out of his game for his own personal numbers. And I think I recognize that. So when I hear people maybe say, well, he had an off year, he only knocked in 82 runs. He could have walked 40 times and knocked in 125.
Right.
But that wasn't the best thing for the team. He took his walks and allowed his friend Casey McGee to knock in a lot of runs.
Yep, Casey with 104. That's not a very good 0-2 pitch. Right down the middle. And Prince able to slice it down the left field line.
I thought it was a nice 0-2 pitch.
Depends on what seat you're sitting in, right?
That's right, exactly.
You guys were talking about the aggressive style under Ron Renicky, and it plays out in so many ways. But just watching Ryan Braun there, as soon as that ball left the bat, Braun as fast as he can. He's thinking about scoring. He might not be able to score, and most don't, on a double down the left field line. But with Soriano in left field, he's challenged a bit in left. Certainly they've talked about being aggressive on any fly ball to left field or base hit to left. And Braun, because he gets a great start and he's extremely fast, he's able to score.
Ryan's a plus runner. Reminds me of Larry Walker as a base runner in that regard. Larry Walker was very fast. You know, could steal bases and run hard out of the box and get the double that might be a single.
See Braun talking it over with Corey Hart. You know, Hart is anxious to get back on the field and be a part of it. As McGee lines one right to Castro, fielder back to the bag, and Casey McGee is retired, second out of the inning.
And we've been talking, Doug, about Eddie Cedar. You know, he's first base coach for a few years here. He was a third base coach when he was in the minor leagues, but that's a tough transition going from first to third base. And when you're trying to send a runner, like situation with Ryan Braun, you have to expect as a third base coach, you got to be giving you your best effort, and you can get that out of the Brewer base runners.
You know, Eddie's very active as a coach, and you know, when he's managed in the minor leagues, he coached third base.
He does have
experience.
Doug, thanks a lot. That was great, and you posted a rally for the Brew Crew. Always great to visit with you.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Bill.
General Manager of the Brewers, Doug Melvin. And appropriate tonight as Prince Fielder is having a big night. First pitch from Narveson of the fourth inning. Well, our game reset brought to you by Chrysler. And the big boys are driving him in tonight. Braun with an RBI double in the first. Fielder followed him with a double down the right field line. It was a two-run first inning for Milwaukee. And then Fielder on an 0-2 pitch goes down the line. Two-run score. Braun comes all the way around from first base. And Chris Narveson, 3 shutout innings on the board, working here in the fourth inning against the Cubs. Good visit with Doug Melvin. Always fun to get Doug here in the booth and get caught up on his world, a very busy world in that general manager seat. That's the hot seat, that manager seat and the GM seat. Now that,
yeah, that's where all the decisions are made, and they got some tough decisions coming up when some of these guys come back from the DL.
On the ground. Oh, it's off the glove of Weeks. They had him positioned perfectly, but Weeks couldn't come up with it. And that's going to go as a base hit. Had a chance at 2 if he comes up with it clean. Now, Brewer fans, again this season, you have a chance to be a part of the Brewers Community Foundation. At every home game this season, the foundation will stage a 50-50 raffle. Raffle tickets will be sold by foundation team members to fans throughout Miller Park for just $2, and 50% of the net revenue will be awarded to a lucky fan each game, with the remaining proceeds going to the foundation. Last season, the raffle raised over $800,000 for Brewers Community Foundation. A nightly occurrence here at Miller Park. So 2 on here for the Cubs to start the 4th inning. And it's Carlos Pena who struck out with the bases loaded his last time up in the 1st.
And it was a Chris Narveson changeup that ended up getting him on a full count. One of those guys that, you know, when he's not seeing the ball all that well and he's in a stretch where he's striking out, not going to drive in many runs, but when he gets hot, look out. One of those very streaky hitters. He will hit some home runs at Wrigley Field.
Put a fastball by him. So now Narveson, at least in the first 2 at-bats with Pena, he's got him a little ahead of his changeup and a little behind his 88-mile-an-hour fastball, which is a good spot for a pitcher to be in with a hitter.
That's what pitching's all about, right?
Name of the game.
Making hitters uncomfortable, off balance.
See what he does with him here, 1 and 2.
He's got to finish him off.
A dangerous spot for a power hitter. Pena made a nice play defensively, robbing Mark Kotze of a base hit earlier in this game. Got him. Pulled the string and he hit the corner. And Narveson strikes out Pena, who has stranded 5 runners on base already tonight.
Yep, same pitch that he was able to strike him out on in the 1st inning. That one well located, down and away. And Dan Iasonia rings him up.
Strikeout number 6 for Narveson. Not necessarily known as a strikeout pitcher, but he's had his days. He's had games when he's put up double-digit strikeout totals. Matter of fact, it was 2 years ago Narveson had a 10 strikeout game against the Chicago Cubs. Soriano with 2 on. Able to check his swing. Narveson as a starter against the Cubs, 2-0. He's 3-0 career against Chicago. And really good numbers. 1.59 ERA. It's a small sample size, but 2 wins for Chris Narveson in 2 starts. And 3 wins overall in 9 appearances. Back when he was splitting time between the starting rotation and the bullpen.
Yeah, changeup type pitchers like Narveson are going to have success against very aggressive first pitch fastball hitting teams, and the Cubs are certainly a team like that. They like to attack the fastball early in the count.
Good block back there by Nieves on a couple of pitches in the dirt. So important in a spot like this with 1 out, keeps that double play in order.
And that's what's so strange about that 1 strikeout in the 1st inning, getting by Nieves. He's been so good blocking pitches in the dirt. We saw it in spring training and so far this year. Very uncharacteristic. Nieves letting that one get away.
Extended the inning by 2 batters. Narveson ended up striking out Pena to end the inning, but the Cubs did have the bases loaded. That one is right down the middle. Soriano taking a guess. Guessed wrong, and it's 2-2.
I wouldn't be looking for fastball either if I'm Soriano. I mean, it's been all changeups when he's been behind in the count.
On the ground, Betancourt on a hop, chance for 2 to Weeks, the turn in time. Beautiful play by Betancourt, hung right there with it. And an easy double play. Narveson is out of the inning. 6-4-3, the Brewers turn 2. And after 3.5, it is 4-0 Milwaukee.
In the bottom of the fourth, time for us to check in with the crew in the community. Join Brewers first baseman Prince Fielder as he hosts a bowl-a-thon on Wednesday, June 22nd at Pinstripes Bowling, located at iPick Entertainment at Bayshore Town Center in support of YMCA. The proceeds raised will build a centralized school library for Youth Leaders Academy located at the north side of YMCA. The library will be established as the Brewers dugout for children grades K4 through 3rd. B.A.?
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. As Mark Kotze bounces out on the first pitch. One away for Matt Garza here in the fourth. That leads us to our trivia tonight, brought to you by AT&T. When was the last time the Brewers had 2 Silver Slugger Award winners in the same season? That's a good question. Braun and Gallardo last year. I'm assuming we're talking about prior to the awards that were handed out yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Always a little nervous dealing with the trivia questions. They get very sensitive in the truck. You have an idea?
I don't.
It's all right. Keeps things normal.
You thought I wasn't paying attention to that. I was. I got it.
A lot going on over there. One gone for Nieves. You look at Matt Garza and his stuff, and you wonder how he ever gives up runs. A great fastball. He's topped out at 97 miles an hour. He's got a sharp slider. 08, you go back to the 08 playoffs, especially in the ALCS. He was filthy for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's the kind of stuff he showed then. And he strikes out Nieves for the second time. Our carsoup.com email the booth question. Tony in Green Bay wants to know, do you guys think the Brewers will contend to lead the National League of home runs again this season?
Yeah, why not? I mean, with Prince and Ryan Braun, Ricky Weeks.
Problem is, you got the Cincinnati Reds in their hitter-friendly ballpark and a number of power hitters. I think it'll probably come down to those two, don't you?
Said, will they contend? And I think they will every year. They might not win it, but they'll contend. Right?
Bernie would love to see plenty of time on the slide this year. Last year, the Reds and the Brewers finished 1-2 in the National League in home run.
Phillies are always going to be up there.
Right now, the Phillies, of course, without Jason Worth, who left via free agency to the Nationals. Chase Utley's still out of the lineup. We're going to see the Phillies on the next trip, and it doesn't matter when you get them in the wheel. They're throwing an ace against you somewhere, somehow. Oswald won again today. His second win as a Philly. They blew out the Braves 10-2. Although Cliff Lee's off to a shaky start.
Didn't he get out to a slow start last year?
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. But you will be facing a #1 maybe 2 or 3 times in that series.
Right. Narveson takes a called strike 3. And the side is retired. Garza has 5 Ks. Brewers lead 4-0.
Build off of it. You know, the more you execute, the more you, I guess, keep the hitters off balance. I think that breeds confidence, and then you can carry it out throughout the game.
The calm, cool, collected Chris Narveson, and his idol growing up was Tom Glavine, and he has a very similar demeanor to Tom Glavine on the mound.
Well, he's got 6 strikeouts, only 1 walk. He's allowed 3 hits, and 2 of those hits came back-to-back to lead off the 4th. But a strikeout and a double play got him out of the inning. He's cruising right now with a 4-0 lead.
And has run his scoreless inning streak to 10 in 2011. 4 shutout tonight. 4-0 Milwaukee as we move to the 5th. And it is Reed Johnson to lead off. Johnson getting the start tonight, has just 5 at-bats for the season. Narveson struck him out his last time up in the 2nd. Routine for Ricky Weeks. And 1 man gone in the 5th.
And that brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's the Wisconsin Rapids Lions Club. If the Tavern Contact calls the Brewers in the next 24 hours at 902-4572, the Wisconsin Rapids Lions Club gets 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy, as usual, of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Second plate appearance for Matt Garza, also a strikeout victim. He was Narvison's his fifth strikeout. Narvison had 5 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. Had 3 in the first, 2 in the second.
Hey, Matt Garza takes a healthy hack up there. Kind of swings the bat like he pitches, right? High energy.
Max effort. Or at least sometimes. As he goes down on strikes. And that's the 7th K. Good stuff from Chris Narvison. They're the Silver Slugger Award winners. That was from yesterday. And our question in our AT&T trivia, the last time the Brewers had 2 in the same season. And we take you back, of course, it's 1982. Cecil Cooper and Robin Yount, the greatest season in Milwaukee Brewers franchise history. In Milwaukee baseball history, you'd have to put the '57 Braves World Series title. That's a fair ball. And Baker will be held to a single. Good play by Ryan Braun to hold Jeff Baker to 1 bag.
And they played that beautifully. It kind of kicked off the stands as it juts out beyond the tarp down there in foul territory and left. And holds Baker to a single with 2 outs. That's a big play. Now it's going to take an extra base hit to score him. And one of the few mistakes that Narvison's made with that breaking ball. Left it up, middle in, and Jeff Baker, who's been as hot as anybody last few days, with a single.
They're really jumping on pitchers early in counts, and it doesn't matter what they throw. Change-ups, curveballs. Had 4 hits last night.
See ball, hit ball. Last night he jumped on a first pitch curveball.
His 3-run home run last night was the killer punch for the Cubs. It came in the 4th inning, part of the 5-run 4th inning. The Brewers could not recover. Baker back in the leadoff spot with a left-hander on the mound. Starlin Castro, the young shortstop, 1 for 5 last night, although he had a line drive out, hit the ball hard on 3 occasions last night. Castro, the player of the week in the National League, 21-year-old shortstop. So many comparisons to Hanley Ramirez of the Florida Marlins. With Starlin Castro, he's big. You don't realize how tall he is until you get down there near the batting cage. Castro's big, strong, wiry shortstop who has great range, all this potential defensively, but he swings a good bat as well.
Kind of reminds you a bit of a young Edgar Renteria. Another big guy. Plays short.
Into center, and that's going to bounce in for a base hit. But Castro keeps on hitting. And 2 hits with 2 outs in this 5th inning. That's how important that play by Ryan Braun was, as it keeps Baker over at first. Now 2 on with 2 away.
Yeah, come to Miller Park on Friday, April 29th, to catch the UWM Panthers take on the Youngstown State Penguins in a doubleheader. For more details, call 414-902-4000 or go to the Brewers website, brewers.com.
So the Cubs with runners on, and their best hitter coming up, Marlon Byrd. And a touchy spot for Narvison. Two on, 2 out. Narvison working on a shutout through 4 2/3. Byrd doubled in the 1st inning. And a 2-strike hit down the right field line. Grounded out his last time up.
There aren't many guys in this lineup that you would rather not face than Marlon Byrd in these situations. He is very tough with men in scoring position.
Tough guy to strike out. Say, check out the #1 free sports app on iTunes, the all-new Fox Sports app with live scoring, video, and all the latest on your favorite local teams. It's free and on iTunes right now. One ball, one strike on Marlon Byrd. All-star last year for the Cubs. Nieves a nice block. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Nieves about as good as it gets at not only getting in front of it, but squaring his shoulders to keep the ball right in front of him. And if you don't square the shoulders on the ball that's either in or away, I mean, the ball's going to deflect and go over toward the dugout. Watch the way he brings that shoulder around, that right shoulder. It kind of brings it around and drops right in front of him. That's textbook. Well done.
Big pitch coming up here, 2-1, and Byrd breaks his bat. Coming in is Ryan Braun. He'll run it down, and Narveson gets out of it. Strands 2 more Cubs. Top of the order coming up. It's Weeks, Morgan, then Braun. 4-0. Brew Crew head to the bottom of the 5th. Fielder having another nice night at the plate. He's driven in 3 of the 4 so far tonight against Matt Garza. 4-0 Brewers in front of a packed house at beautiful Miller Park. Beautiful, spacious Miller Park, with the roof closed on a cool night. Top of the order here, Weeks, Morgan, and Braun coming up. All have done damage tonight against Garza. Weeks singled and scored in the 1st inning. Garza struck him out his last time up. Down the right field line. That's slicing foul. That's going to head to the seats. And it's 2 balls and a strike on Weeks. Final game of the series tomorrow. It's a matinee here at Miller Park. Hope you can join us. If not here at the ballpark, there are some tickets available. Certainly hope you'll watch. Gallardo tomorrow. Yovani Gallardo against Casey Coleman. And the Brewers are hoping to make it a run at a series win and get back to 500, but it takes a victory tonight to put yourself in that position. Look at me, already talking about 500, Rock. Second week of the season.
Yeah, a lot of baseball left tonight. But I like where you're going with it. After an 0-4 start, that would be a nice homestand.
Well, there's that fine line. It is early, but these are division games. The Brewers don't have a win yet against the division. As Weeks strikes out, Garza flipped up the slider and for the second time strikes out Ricky Weeks.
Well, it's early yet, as we have talked about, but Dodger Morgan has proven to be a very good pickup at the plate on the bases and a very nice catch. Taking extra bases away from the Cubs. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. He plays shallow, but has enough confidence to go back into baseball and haul it in on the wall.
And by the way, he's swinging the bat well. He tripled and scored in the third inning to raise his batting average. Actually, his batting average has dropped. He's hitting .529 right now. He's 9 for 17 on the season, but is 8 for his last 13. Got softball numbers. He's hitting .615 on the homestand. The 0-2 to Morgan. Bounces. Ball and 2 strikes.
You were talking about, the importance of games in the month of April, and they're all important. Every game is as important as the next. You can't win a division in April, but you can certainly lose one in April if you get off to a terrible start. And the Brewers have rebounded nicely from that 0-4 start.
Well, we talked about the tough schedule to start the season, and the Brewers facing a lot of playoff teams from a year ago to begin the season, and then of course you get into June and that tough run through the American League East with Boston and New York and Tampa Bay, home and home of the Twins.
Going to have all hands on deck for that stretch.
Right.
Going to have everybody healthy, everybody swinging the bat, throwing the baseball well, especially playing the Yankees and Boston both on the road.
Right off the bat, the Brewers are going to see the Phillies in Philadelphia. That's coming up on the next road trip. Pittsburgh and Washington first. The 1-2. Fouled away. Morgan hangs tough. Garza strikes him out and takes an extra look at Nigel Morgan on his way back. 7th strikeout for Matt Garza, with Ryan Braun coming up. Powerball home run leaderboard. You see where the Brewers sit. Braun and Weeks with 3 apiece. Fielder hit his first last night.
And Matt Garza struck out 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6.
And as is usually the case with a power pitcher, you want to get him early, and the Brewers did. A 2-run first, a 2-run third as Braun fouls it away.
And Garza, this time through the order, starting to use the curveball a little bit more. He's thrown a couple of them tonight, but in this inning, he's broken it out a couple of times. It's about the 3rd one he's thrown this inning.
Ryan Braun with a milestone hit back in the first inning as he continues to chip away at the career numbers. What a great start to a career. His 150th career double. We're always infatuated with round numbers. Braun's only been in the league since 07. He was the Rookie of the Year in 07. If you're wondering who the all-time doubles leader is, it's Tris Speaker from the Wayback Machine. 792. He's got a long way to go to catch Tristan Speaker. Pete Rose is second on that list. I wanted to name my first child Tris. My wife said no way.
I wonder why. That would be an interesting name for a girl.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the problem.
Yeah.
Tristram Speaker. He's a Texas boy, Hall of Famer. You play against him, Rock?
I did not. No. Just missed him.
Back in the teens and 20s. Mostly with the Indians, I believe. The 3-1 to Braun. In there for a strike.
I'll tell you, between Garza, Zambrano, and Carlos Marmol, how many sliders have we seen in the last 2 days?
Good point.
He threw well yesterday.
That's why orthopedic surgeons stay busy with baseball players year round.
Yep. Whoever invented the slider is very popular with the orthopedic surgeons.
Braun to the opposite field, a base hit. Boy, that's a piece of art right there. And Braun knows it too as he prances around first base.
And that's why he's always going to be around 300, because of his plate coverage and his willingness with 2 strikes to go to the opposite field. That was a cutter down and away, and he just sticks the bat out there, and you can see the leverage that Brawny has with that big long bat. And sticks it out, and look at it, hits it right on the sweet spot. That is beautiful piece of hitting by Brawny. Reaching out for it, but with the long bat able to cover all of home plate.
Scary how good he already is and how good he can get. I mean, he's not even really into the full prime of his career yet, Ryan Braun. I mean, he's probably entering that this year. After what he called a down year last year. We'd all be so lucky to have a down year like Ryan Braun when he drove in 125 homers.
Well, he had that stretch. Remember in the second half, about 6 weeks, where he's having a tough time. And boy, but the last 6 weeks of the season, he was money.
Fielder again to the opposite field. That's going to go to the wall. Keep an eye on Braun. He'll try to score. Here he comes. No throw. Braun scores again from first on a Fielder double. And the big man is having a big day here against the Cubs.
Yep, 3 doubles, and every one of them have driven in a run. 4 RBIs for Prince. How about the dynamic duo here tonight? 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back strikeouts. Single, double. Ryan Braun's speed able to score twice on a Prince Fielder double. Both times from first base. That was a hanging curveball that time from Garza. We said that he's been throwing a few more of the curveballs. And Brawny on his horse and scores without a play.
Well, Fielder, a 4 RBI game. He has 9 runs batted in for the season. And he has 9 runs batted in since Wednesday. It is Saturday.
It's a game of averages. You know, I mean, even in Cincinnati, where he did not pick up a base hit, or an RBI, I should say, he was swinging the bat well. He hit some balls hard.
Well, you made a great call. First game of the homestand, the home opener, and you said, you know, the way he's swinging the bat and going the other way, he's about ready to break out, and he certainly has in a big way on this homestand.
He never, ever gives up an at-bat. It doesn't matter what the situation, what the score, who's out there. Every at-bat is just as important as another. That's what makes him so special.
Remember, he came into this homestand without an RBI, without an extra base hit. And since Wednesday, in 4 games, he's driven in 9. 3 doubles today. Homered for the first time yesterday. Had 3 hits and 3 RBIs on Wednesday.
Yep, Braun and Field are responsible for 5 of the 7 hits.
Now Prince at second base for McGee. On a bouncer, and it's gloved by Ramirez. Nice play. And that's a side. But Braun and Fielder, the headliners, are performing like the showstoppers here tonight. 2-out rally, and the Brewers add to it. Fielder with his 3rd hit. It's 5-0 Brewers. Narveson back on the mound. He has a 5-hit shutout going through the first 5 innings. Been able to wiggle off a couple of hooks. Had a strikeout with the bases loaded in the first inning. Punched out Pena. And then stranded 2 last inning as Ramirez skies one to right. Katse under it. 1 gone. Ramos Ramirez retired. And it'll be Giovanni Soto now. Narveson keeps it rolling. The Brewers have not officially announced what their plans are with the starting rotation as of yet. Marco Estrada pitched so well that they are considering keeping Estrada in the rotation, which would buy everybody an extra day off, make it a 5-man rotation with days off. And that's a possibility.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep everybody fresh.
And that option is available only because Marco Estrada pitched so well and looked so good in his start against Atlanta, picking up his first major league win. Good option to have.
Yeah. Had a big run through the Eastern Division coming up. I should say Pittsburgh, D.C., and Philly after a day off on Monday.
So as of right now, Gallardo will get the ball tomorrow, and then an off day Monday, and then it's TBA, to be announced, in the Pittsburgh series. Narveson picks up another strikeout. That is number 8 for Chris Narveson. He is now 2 away from tying a career high.
That changeup and had Soto out in front and over the top. That's the cutter. My mistake.
Say FoxSportsWisconsin.com has the latest on all your favorite teams. Log on now for coverage from Badger Spring football, the latest on the Brewers, including Prince Fielder's newest milestone. You can read it now on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. 2 gone, and it's Pena.
Have we talked about this milestone, or is it the 100 Miller Park home runs?
Yeah. Yeah, the 100th. I told you we're infatuated with round numbers over here.
I'm just making sure I know what we're talking about.
Nothing slipped by you. I'll let you know. I got you covered.
Okay.
100 home runs at Miller Park. No one's hit more, which didn't change because he hit his 100th, but because he hit his 100,
we're talking about it.
Right. You're getting it. That one is hit hard to right. Kotze has to play it on a hop. And a base hit for Pena.
Now, if you're going to give up a base hit to Pena, now's a good time to do it. 2 outs, nobody on. His first 2 times up, he was up there with men in scoring position. And fastball, he missed his spot. And he left it middle in, and Pena able to turn on it.
A 2-out hit. And it's Alfonso Soriano. Speaking of milestones, I saw where Chipper Jones achieved his 2,500th career base hit.
Yeah.
Had a 3-hit game yesterday against the Phillies. That's a good number.
You think he's going to be around long enough to get 3,000?
How many years do you think he'd have to play? 3 more? Well, it depends on what kind of year he had this year, I guess.
2 more with this year.
200 hit season. I don't know. I don't know if he can stay healthy enough.
No, not 200. I mean, if he has, what, 150 this year?
They give him 150 this year. And problem with Chipper Jones is staying on the field.
Right. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. I know it is a stated goal, but there's a swing and a miss. And Chris Narveson picking him up and putting him down tonight. Narveson, another scoreless inning. 12 shutout innings to start the season for Chris Narveson. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Chorizo and the Milwaukee Brewers. Sellout crowd tonight at Miller Park. 5-0 Brewers over the Cubs. And Matt Garza back on the mound. A ton of strikeouts tonight between the two hurlers. Narveson has 9. Garza with 7. Betancourt is anxious for some breaks offensively. He's really swung the bat well. Not much to show for it.
Well, it's all about the approach. If he continues to take the approach that he's had on his homestand, I think his numbers will bear out throughout the season.
6 for 28 at the plate. Betancourt lined out sharply to center field his last time up.
And that's the key for Betancourt, going back through the middle into right center. They like to attack him with the breaking stuff away.
Uni does have an RBI. Had a 2-hit game last night, scored a run. Drove in his first run on Wednesday. And twice on this homestand he's had 2 hits. Did he go? No, he didn't. Able to check his swing.
And Dale Scott has not rung anybody up on that check swing tonight. That was close.
That was close. Just remember that camera angle is from the dugout, not down the line. Different angle than what Dale Scott sees. But a close one. Not that time. A full swing. Down he goes. Strikeout number 8 for Garza.
Hey, on Sunday, April 24th, the Brewers take to the field against the Houston Astros at 1:10. All fans in attendance get a John Axford bobblehead courtesy of Palermo's Pizza and Piggly Wiggly. For more details or to order tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Axford bobblehead. Haven't seen the Raleigh fingers, the handlebar mustache from Axford this year.
Yeah, you probably won't see that again.
That's it. It's been memorialized in a bobblehead, but never to come back.
You'll have to ask John, but my guess is that's it for that.
Kotze with a base hit. Mark Kotze singles to right, and a base runner with 1 away here in the 6th.
You don't want to put that kind of pressure on yourself, do you? You come out there looking like Raleigh fingers.
I mean, he did it last year, and he was a rookie.
Right. I mean, he did it once, didn't he?
Oh, no. He did
once or twice?
More than that.
Was it? There's a good piece of hitting. Left-handers like the ball down, and that's exactly where that fastball was. Every time it seems Garza misses his location with that fastball, the Brewers are putting good wood on it.
It's just a strange season pitching line for Matt Garza. Well, you look at what he's done. He's leading the National League in strikeouts. He has 20 strikeouts so far in his 2 starts. 20 Ks, just 1 walk, and he's given up 20 hits. That's a go figure stat right there.
Yeah, it is. Maybe throwing too many strikes, huh? Is that possible? I mean, that was an issue with Ben Sheets.
That's a good comparison.
Remember, there was a lot of talk about, Benny, throwing too many strikes, getting ahead in the count, and still throwing strikes when he really doesn't have to. Maybe the similar situation with Garza. We've already seen him give up a 0-2 base hit to Prince, a double down the line. In a situation where you can waste a pitch, 0-2, 1-2 base hits, you don't have to throw strikes.
Nieves hacking away on a 2-0 pitch, helping out Garza. Mateo, the right-hander, in the forefront. The left-hander is Grabo. Garza's pitch count is at 98. 5-0 Brewers. And Nieves takes ball 3. If he walks Nieves, the 8th place hitter who he has struck out twice, that's going to get Mike Quaddy maybe to the top step. We'll see. Got the pitcher coming up next. Sneaky managers, both of them, hiding behind dugout rails. There it is, ball 4. So that'll send the radar up for the Cubs. And Soto is out to the mound. We'll give Narveson a chance to drop a bunt down with Ricky Weeks coming up next. Perhaps.
Well, they're thinking about it. They're at 100 pitches with Garza. 67 strikes, 33 balls. That's a very good ratio for a power pitcher. Maybe too good, as we've talked about.
Now Mark Riggins, the Cubs first-year pitching coach to have a chat with Garza.
Just wants to find out how he's feeling. Garza says, I'm fine. And then back he goes. Very quick conversation.
I'll tell you, the guy who knows him the best is his first baseman, the last guy who leaves the mound, Carlos Pena, teammates in Tampa Bay. Big spot here. The Brewers can add to their lead with Narveson at the plate. He's hitless this year. He's 0 for 4. Last year he hit .327, and he takes a strike. Look how close Pena is at first base.
Yeah, which means that Narveson, if he wants to successfully advance the base runners, has to push the ball to Aramis Ramirez at third base.
Good take, and it's a ball and a strike. There's a beautiful bunt. Outstanding. Ramirez makes the play. Narveson, a sacrifice bunt. Couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
Yep, you bunt the ball to third base. You make the third baseman leave the bag and no play at third. And now you got 2 outs and 2 men in scoring position. Well executed by Chris Narveson. He gets the bat head out in front and just deadens the baseball. Beautifully rolls it right to Ramirez at third base. That's an area where the Brewer pitching staff has to do a better job this year, dropping down the bunts.
Well, that is going to give the Cubs the option to walk Weeks, and they'll deal with Nyjer Morgan.
They bring in the left-hander Graybo. I can't imagine why they would be walking Ricky to get to Morgan as well as Morgan's been swinging the bat, unless they're going to go to the left-hander. Nyjer talking to himself. Don't let them do that to you.
I love it. Graybo looks ready. And it's ball 4. So Garza issues the walk, and here comes Mike Quade, and he makes the quick call to the bullpen. A pitching change at Miller Park, a chance for the Brewers to do some damage here in the 6th. We'll take a break. Matt Garza, the Chicago Cubs, sending Garza and getting 5 earned runs in 5 2/3. Still the bases loaded for the Brewers here. His responsibility. Did strike out 8. He looked like he had pretty good stuff, but Milwaukee taking advantage, specifically Prince Fielder, who drove in 4 runs Off Garza, the left-hander John Grabo rocking to face Morgan.
And left-handed specialist, a 386 earned run average in only 3 appearances. Last year with the Cubs, 1-3 and a 736 earned run average in 28 games. Spent a lot of time on the disabled list of John Grabo last year.
Good play back there from Soto. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nigel Morgan. Tripled and scored in the 3rd inning.
Nice job by Giovanni Soto.
Good play. 2-1. Kotsay over at 30. Had a 1-out single. Nieves walked. And Weeks was intentionally walked. The 2-1. Morgan slaps one foul. Nigel Morgan having another good night at the ballpark. He made a great catch, crashing into the wall, robbing Soriano of an extra base hit. And then the triple for Morgan in the 3rd inning. That was with 1 out, just flying around the bases. A stand-up triple for Nigel Morgan. And there's a curveball. Down he goes. Tough matchup as the left-hander gets Morgan. And the Brewers strand the bases loaded. 5-0 Crew. We're on our way to the 7th inning.
Good start to the night for the Brewers. A 2-run first inning, back-to-back doubles by Braun and Fielder. Prince having a big night. He's got 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, a 2-out double in the 3rd, and a double on a no-2 count in the 5th. And Chris Narveson continues his mastery. Has not allowed a run in 12 innings so far this year. That covers 2 starts. 9 strikeouts and 6 base hits allowed by Chris so far tonight.
Yeah, Narveson is a strikeout away from tying a career high, which came against the Cubs 2 years ago. Bottom of the order, Reed Johnson leads off. A little flare. Weeks is back. He's got it. 1 away. Well, you can get interactive with us all season long. Just send your text to 234-234, keyword Brewers. And Mike in West Bend wants to know, what is Chris Narveson's best pitch?
Strike 1 is his best pitch. Well, that's what Will Nieves said in his scouting report to us today. Strike 1, regardless of what pitch he uses. But his out pitch is his changeup. That's probably his most comfortable pitch.
Facing Darwin Barney, pinch hitting. It's the ability to not only get a strikeout or his out pitch, as you mentioned, but also the get back in the count pitch, right? The change up when he's been behind. Another pop up, another change up, and another easy play for Ricky Weeks. 2 gone. Boy, he is really making it look easy right now.
Hey, for just $16, get 1 Terrace Reserve ticket to select Wednesday Brewers games. and won 2011 adult admission tickets to the Harley-Davidson Museum. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/HDmuseum. Yeah, Chris Narveson has thrown a number of 2-0, 2-1 changeups to get back in that count, as you mentioned.
Talk about putting a hitter in a psychological mess when you can throw it off speed down in the count to get back in a count. Baker lines one right field. Kotze back, and he's got it. Mark Kotze. As the Brewers continue their sparkling defense, that was a 7-pitch inning for Narveson. The Cubs go in order. Well done, Mark Kotze.
Lead here at Miller Park. Dave and Craig getting you set for Brewers Live postgame coming up right after the conclusion of this one. And boy, oh boy, we'd love to catch up with Prince Fielder. Nobody's hotter right now, David, using all fields.
He's hot. He's hot.
He's
but
hot. He's hot.
The thing about it is what he's doing is using the whole field. Down the left field line, right center field, down the right field line. He's pulled the ball, staying right on it.
April has not been a kind month for him in the past. Why do you think he's so successful right now?
Well, I think he's taking what the pitcher's giving him, not trying to pull the ball. They're trying to pound him away, so he's going that way until he's going to make them change their game plan.
Two big heroes tonight, the Prince and Chris Narveson. See if the Brewers can hang on. Brewers Live postgame on the way, guys.
All right, Craig, Davey, thank you. Looking forward to that. Fielder due up second here in the 7th inning. The new pitcher is Marcus Mateo. As Ryan Braun leads off, and you can tell right away Mateo has a big arm.
Yeah, he throws hard. He has the slider, basically a 2-pitch pitcher. He pitched 20 or so games for the Cubs last year, and 3 appearances so far in 2011.
Braun with a couple of hits, had a 2-out single in the 5th. Got a rally started. Just a beautiful piece of hitting by Braun in that 5th inning. Got down 2 strikes and drove one to right field, and then he scored on Fielder's double. Twice in this game, Braun has scored from first base on a Fielder double.
Between Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, those guys are 5 for 5 and a walk with 4 doubles and 5 RBIs.
It's an old cliche to say, you know, as the stars go, the team goes, but it's a cliche because it's true.
Yep, it is true.
And as Braun and Fielder go, that's usually how the Brewers will go. They're going good tonight. We're talking about the start to a career for Ryan Braun, and check it out. He entered the league in May of 07. First 6 weeks of 07 he was in AAA. Look at these numbers.
Some kind of a special young man, a tremendous hitter with some speed, and continues to improve in left field.
The 2-2, and Braun swings and misses. Down he goes. A strikeout for Mateo. Here comes Prince. Well, last night Fielder connected on his first homer of the year, the Powerball home run, #1 for Fielder.
Prince just driving the baseball to the opposite field, not just going that way and just serving it into left, but driving it into the opposite field. They're figuring you're going to give me a big shift. I'm going to go the other way.
His double in the first down the right field line. As he bounces one into the shift, he's running hard, long throw, and Fielder is just out.
Love the way he runs the bases.
Every time.
Every single time. You know, we talk a lot about guys that don't run ground balls out, guys that just jog around the bases. You'll never see that from Prince Fielder, ever. I mean, he'll run like that on a comebacker to the mound. So it makes him a leader. Everybody watches what Prince does.
Now 2 men are out in the 7th. First time tonight a Cub pitcher has retired Braun and Fielder. And it's Casey McGee. He's had a quiet night. He is 0 for 3, although he lined out in the 3rd inning. Hit one sharply out to Starlin Castro at short.
That's a heck of a slider that Mateo's featuring here tonight. I mean, a true slider. It doesn't break a lot, but it's very sharp and late and goes straight down. That's a good pitch.
He had a good cut. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Sean Green in the bullpen. 2 scoreless last night, or an inning and a 3rd scoreless from Green. Brewers are still a little bit hampered in that bullpen. Takashi Saito is still out with a hamstring injury, but it's not yet an injury that they need to put him on the disabled list, but it might turn into that. It can only go so long. Sergio Mitre.
And the seed game, they're trying to flip the seeds into the trash can. You see it?
Time-honored tradition in the bullpen.
Good game. I was good at that.
And a lot of time to practice down there. All right.
With Narvi, sometimes, he gets away from his breaking ball. He don't throw it that much, and that's a huge pitch for him. When he throw that pitch for strike, his fastball, his changeup became more effective.
The comments of Will Nieves before the game today, and Narveson and Nieves worked the game plan to perfection.
Yeah, let's see, 13 innings this year, has not allowed a run yet, and Narveson has had command of every one of his pitches. His changeup and fastball counts, and he really only made one mistake with a curveball, and it really didn't cost him much. But everything down in his zone, Narveson has been very smart in when to use the fastball, the riding fastball. So I'll tell you, Nieves and Narveson have worked very well so far this year.
Speaking about Narveson in the past tense, he is out of the game after 96 pitches as he's about to go through the order for the 4th time. Ron Renneke goes with Sean Green. String of right-handed batters coming up for the Cubs. So Narveson out after 7. Comes up 1 strikeout short of his career high.
1 run allowed for Sean Green in 3 1/3 innings, a 270 earned run average. Side armor that's going to be facing 4 consecutive right-handed batters. Another reason why Narveson's out of the game.
5-0 Brewers, 8th inning. Green is ahead of Starlin Castro, who singled his last time up, and is now hitting .364 for the season. 12 for 33 at the plate. Scoring a bunch of runs already, too. 6 runs in 7 games prior to tonight. He went, unable to check it. 0-2 the count.
Well, the odds were against Castro, and you can see he went. That was clearly a swing.
Casey McGee. Got it. 1 away. A lot of ground ball outs from Sean Green when he's right, the sidewinder.
Those right-handers really have a tough time hanging in there and keeping that front shoulder closed on that slider. That sweeping slider doesn't go down a whole lot, but it goes straight across. You get a lot of swings like we just saw, just reaching out and easy ground balls to short and third.
Saw Jeff Samardzija loosening for the Cubs in the bullpen.
Another slider pitcher. There's a ton of them on this club.
Marlon Byrd. Another one on the ground. Betancourt. 2 outs. Sellout crowd tonight, 42,478. Nothing like Miller Park, jam-packed. For me, it kind of had the same feel to it as the home opener on Monday. That early hum that goes through the stadium when it's full like this.
You always get that extra excitement before the game and throughout the game when the Cubs are in town.
And they'll wrap it up tomorrow here. And by the way, we want to pass along our condolences to Jeff Jenkins, former Brewer. His mom, Patty, passed away on Friday. And Rock, as you know, and she was a huge fan of the telecast, watching her son Jeff.
Even after Jeff was no longer a Brewer, she continued to watch Brewer baseball. And
so let Jeff Jenkins know we're thinking about him and sorry for his loss. And Patty passing away last Friday. Tough time in the Jenkins household.
Yeah.
Just missed. 2 balls and a strike. No more strikes in that baseball for Sean Green.
He says if I throw that pitch and it's not a strike, that baseball can't be worth much to me.
There's too much Delaware mud on it. It's too dark.
Umpire couldn't see it.
Nieves has him shake off a couple of times. And the 2-1 in the air, center field. Morgan racing back right to the spot. 3 up, 3 down inning. Green, another nice outing for the Brewers. To the bottom of the 8th we go.
Got things started with an RBI double, and Prince will follow with the same thing to give the Crew a 2-0 lead. Let's move to the bottom of the 3rd. Prince doubles down the line for 2 RBIs, and then he gets his 3rd double in the 5th inning to give the Brewers a 5-0 lead, and it was all Christian Arvidsson on the hill. Through 7 innings, he gave up 6 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts, and he has started the season with 13 consecutive scoreless innings as the Brewers lead the Cubs 5-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. B.A.
All right, Telly, thank you. Under the lights of Miller Park, or Miller Light, what's on tap? Final game of the series tomorrow. We're on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brewers Live kicks us off at 12:30. And then Monday is an off day. The Brewers start a series in Pittsburgh beginning Tuesday. It'll be a 9-game road trip for the Crew coming up. Pittsburgh, Washington, Philadelphia.
Not a lot of travel once the team gets to Pittsburgh. Well clumped together. It's a nice, it makes a lot of sense road trip.
You seem surprised by that.
I am.
Betancourt against Jeff Samardzija just into the game. And the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning.
Sometimes the road trips really don't seem to make a whole lot of sense. 3 time zones, and
but this one fits in your appropriate scheduling spot.
It always makes sense when you go from one city. The Brewers are going to go from Washington D.C. to Philly on a bus. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good road trip. Back in the old days, they used to do that. They used to take the train. And they weren't, 15-hour train rides. Not every day.
I'd love to take the train. Wouldn't that be cool? You hear all those stories. Bob Uecker was telling some of those stories about jumping on the train. And
well, you could back then. All the teams were kind of clumped together.
Yeah, that Milwaukee to Los Angeles train trip, that's a good hike.
Right.
There's Mr. Baseball.
He's seen it all. Was it 56 years in baseball? Still going at it. Better than ever.
As lively as ever. Cameron Lowe preparing for the 9th. Katse draws a walk. So Marcotte, a 1 for 3 night, and now a walk on base the last 2 times up. Brings up Will Nieves. I know there's a couple of guys anxious to get to Washington, D.C., and that is, as you see, Kotsay being lifted for a pinch runner. Carlos Gomez on a run and will likely stay in to play center field. Well, you figure Nieves and Nyjer Morgan looking forward to a matchup against the Nationals, especially Nyjer Morgan, right, coming up on this road trip.
It's a good town to visit, a lot to do in D.C. We've got our annual trip to the Walter Reed Army Hospital to visit the wounded troops. It's always on the docket the last 3 years.
Always a humbling experience.
Yes, it is.
There goes Gomez. Throw to second is late. Oh, that ball hit Castro right in the face. He tried to tag quickly and didn't even put leather on it.
Yeah. Tried to be a little bit too quick and never did get the baseball.
It was close. It was right near that eye. And just
good to see him up.
Like it hit him on the cheekbone. Yeah. That's scary.
Sometimes the hands are a little bit too quick.
Oh, man.
Tried the drop tag, and boy, he never did get a glove on it. And if it hit the glove ever so slightly and got him right in the jaw.
Oh,
ouch. Tough kid. He's up. That's going to be a bit sore tonight and tomorrow.
Be interested to see if he's in the lineup tomorrow. Day game after the night game, and you know, it could be one of those nights where you have a tough time sleeping.
Yeah, put a little ice on it in the clubhouse, maybe take an ice bag back to the hotel, but whatever you do, it's going to be sore. Always hurts a little bit more when you're down 5-0.
So he's going to stay.
Ears are ringing.
Yeah, that's a concern, right? You know, that jaw is connected. Knock it out of place. They tested him out though, and whatever test they had for him, he passed. There is a new concussion rule in place as far as DL goes. Junel Escobar with the Blue Jays might take advantage of that. It's a 7-day disabled list, and it exists for head injuries.
That's a good move by baseball.
I like that rule.
You have to be careful with head injuries. That goes without saying.
All right, so it's a stolen base for Gomez, and Nieves has a chance to add to the lead in a hitter's count against Samardzija. Nieves walked his last time up. 0 for 2 at the plate tonight. He's looking for his first RBI of the season. 2-2. Want to send out birthday wishes to our buddy Tom Savio, celebrating his birthday here at the ballpark tonight. Got a big group. Among the sellout crowd. Full count to Nieves. Reds and Diamondbacks are underway. Cincinnati leading 2-0. Bronson Arroyo up tonight for the Reds. Reds lead the division, out to a good start. They're 5-2, even though they've lost back-to-back games. Playing in Arizona. Gomez takes off, and the throw is late. Nieves draws the walk. Gomez steals third base. 2 steals in this 8th inning.
Yeah, good at bat by Will Nieves. Able to work the count and got it to full and ended up drawing the walk. And in the process, a very good jump by Carlos Gomez. They were trying to hold him on, but he's so fast. The throw a bit high, and that's why Gomez was able to beat it. If that throws right on the bag, they have him. And a good call down there by C.B. Buckner.
He pinch ran for Katze, who walked. Stole second, stole third. Now first and third for Jeremy Reed, pinch hitting. Reed is 0 for 5 at the plate, looking for his first hit. Base hit here would give him his first ribby. Reed was one of the best hitters the Brewers had this spring. You know, he was playing a lot, and he swung the bat so well that he earned the roster spot. He was a non-roster invitee to spring training. He and Eric Almonte both making the club. Down he goes. It all comes to a halt, doesn't it, Rock? You play every day in spring training. You're into the rhythm, swinging the bat well, and all of a sudden the season starts and your at-bats are few and far between.
And that's what makes being a pinch hitter in the big leagues so difficult. You don't get many opportunities, but when you're called upon, it's usually in a very important spot. Men on base late in the ball game, trying to get a rally going. It's a tough thing to do, and that's why most good pinch hitters are veterans. You know, guys that have been around a while.
First and third, 2 gone. Back to the top of the order, and Ricky Weeks.
And Jeremy Reed, the only Brewer that has not started a game so far this year.
As Cameron Lowe continues to loosen in the bullpen. I think about Jeremy Reed and where he is coming out of spring training and 0 for his first 6. It reminds me of Casey McGee, who was in the same boat. Made a team, non-roster invitee, and it seems hard to believe now because McGee has had 2 monster years. But McGee took advantage. And when he got his chance, he swung the bat well, and he swung the bat so well. And remember, McGee didn't even start playing until Ricky Weeks got hurt and he started playing second base.
It was like mid-May, wasn't it?
Now he's a fixture at third base and a 100 RBI performer.
I think the big difference, though, and you never know what's going to happen with Jeremy Reed, but you know, Casey started to play just about every day. Got a lot of opportunities and then started to hit. It wasn't the other way around. Casey, you know, got his chance because of an injury and took advantage of it, like you said.
Weeks in a hitter's count. He has a hit today in the first inning. A hit and a walk. He's 1 for 3. And he takes ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Brewers, with Nigel Morgan coming up.
3 walks by Jeff Samardzija. He's got such good stuff. Good live fastball, that nasty slider, but you know, throughout his career, and one thing that the Cubs have really been kind of wondering about Samardzija's ability to throw strikes. Doesn't do much good if you're not throwing the ball over the plate.
There's a strike.
It's 95 right on the corners.
Bases full of Brewers. Morgan was up there with the bases loaded in the 6th, but against a left-hander who struck him out to end the inning. Braun would be next, which means Morgan should get plenty to hit. Good take, 2-2. Started with a bang tonight. Brewers got 2 in the first. Braun and Fielder have had big games. Fielder with 3 hits, all 3 doubles. He's driven in 4 of the 5 runs. As Morgan takes inside, ball 3. Now everybody can take off. And Morgan in the driver's seat with Braun coming up next. Morgan takes ball 4, an RBI the easy way. 6-0 Brewers. The 4th walk of the inning for Jeff Samardzija.
Yep, 95-96 for the fastball. It doesn't do you a whole lot of good if you're not throwing it over the plate. Good job by Carlos Gomez to shake things up out there on the bases.
And now Samardzija has to deal with Ryan Braun with the bases loaded, who has 2 hits tonight and a walk. He's 2 for 3, scored 3 runs. He's blazing around the bases tonight, scoring from first on Fielder's doubles twice. Braun also drove in a run in the first. College football star, a receiver at Notre Dame, Jeff Samardzija, Indiana native, just hasn't taken that next step as a big league pitcher. Strike 2. A couple of good fastballs from Samardzija.
He's taking a little bit off and adding a little bit of movement. Those last 2 fastballs at 93. Well, you're better off at 93 with some movement, throwing it for strikes, than being wild with the big velocity.
The 1-2, and Braun rolls one out to Castro. And the out is made at second base. So the inning is over. The Brewers get a run. It's 6-0, and we go to the 9th. Last call for the Cubs. Prince Fielder is the story tonight offensively. 3 doubles. 3 times safe at second. Safe and secure. New York life.
A triple-double for Prince. How about that? You like that?
Basketball term. Nice.
That was Mike Vasallo. I have to give him credit.
Well, it's been impressive. He's used the entire ballpark. Was left standing in the on-deck circle. No Brewers ever hit 4 doubles in a game. And Fielder content to call it a day. He's hoping Marco Estrada can finish it out here. Estrada was the starter against the Braves on Wednesday. And not speaking for Ron Renicky here, but this seems to answer one of the big questions before the game, whether Estrada was headed back into the rotation or not.
And not sure if this is his day to throw on his side or not, but maybe this is an opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So maybe it doesn't tell you much of anything with a 6-0 lead. We'll see.
6-0 Brewers. 9th inning. Cubs are coming up with Giovanni Soto to start it. Then Pena. And Alfonso Soriano. Narveson 7 scoreless tonight. An impressive outing by the left-hander. 7 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts, and he walked just 1. And still has yet to give up a run this season. Now Renicky had Cameron Lowe ready in the bullpen. He wants to see if Estrada can get through this 9th, but he walks Soto on 4 pitches. Let's take you back to the night of Chris Narveson. A big story tonight, and Rocky was on his game. Jimmy John's delivery of the game, the 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, the biggest trouble that he was in the first inning, and he left the bases loaded. A big strikeout to Carlos Pena. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk for Narveson, 6 base hits, and really was on the top of his game once again. 13 consecutive scoreless innings to start the season for Chris Narveson, our Jimmy John delivery of the game.
Cameron Lowe starting to get it charged up again. Shift is on for Pena. The matchup between Narveson and Pena tonight on 2 occasions was the one you circle in your scorebook. Narveson struck him out with the bases loaded in the first inning. And then he struck him out with 2 on and nobody out in the 4th, when it looked like the Cubs were going to get something started.
Yeah, first 2 singled in the 4th, a strikeout, and then a double play, and that was the end of that rally for the Cubs.
Cubs have left 7 on tonight. There's a good pitch. Ball and 2 strikes.
Man, speaking of changeups, Estrada's got a very good one. That's his out pitch.
Picked up his first major league win on Wednesday against Atlanta. He had a good night. He was 1 pitch away from a great night. Gave up a 3-run home run in his final inning to Jason Hayward. Thus the 4 earned runs in 6 innings. But he was close to getting through the Braves lineup that chased Cliff Lee after 3 1/3 with just 1 run allowed. But he gave the Brewers a big start, and he's hoping to stay put for a while. Full count. I don't suppose he's going to have much of a leash here with a 6-run lead.
Yeah, not the way, you know, crazy things have been happening all around baseball these days. Big leads seem to evaporate quickly these days in the major leagues.
Got him. Estrada strikes out Pena.
Now on a changeup, had some movement on it, and according to Dennis Iasonia, he caught the corner. Close pitch, but rings him up. Tough pitch to take, but it looked like it might have been off the outside corner.
Pena barking on his way out. And the first out. Soriano up there. He's 0 for 3. Well, the worm really turned in that fourth inning. We told you about the Pena strikeout with 2 on to start the inning. The next batter, Soriano, bounced into a 6-4-3 double play, and as fast as the Cubs started a rally, Narveson snuffed it out, and then he went on to take it 3 more scoreless innings, and his best inning of the night was his last inning, a 7-pitch 3 up 3 down 7th.
A lot of activity down in that Brewers bullpen. Guys bumping into each other, trying to get loose. Now Mitch Stetter joining Lowe down there.
Big cut. 1-2. Estrada looking for a ground ball here. Soriano made an offer, checked his swing, 2-2 the count.
They dive into that outside corner, and Estrada straightened him up.
Pulls it foul, just got a piece of the changeup. Well, anxious to see what Giovanni Gallardo has tomorrow after his complete game 2 hitter against Atlanta. Gallardo against Casey Coleman, taking the roster spot of Andrew Kashner. The Cubs have 2 starters on the disabled list, Randy Wells and Kashner. Here's a chance. Betancourt weaks the turn. That's the way to finish a ball game. 6-4-3, and a great night tonight from Prince Fielder, our Menards player of the game. 3 for 4, 3 doubles. Fielder drives in 4 and has 9 RBIs in his last 4 games, making a winner out of Chris Narveson. A 6-0 Brewers win. Series all tied at 1 apiece. Still much more to come on this game as we kick it out to Craig Cashon in our Brewers live set. Craig.
All right, Brian, thanks very much. A lot of big heroes. Prince, of course, again tonight. Chris Narveson, hope to catch up with them. And plenty more in that Brewer clubhouse, including Ron Renicky as well.